Yesterday in math, I think, was this the last thing that we had done?
Yep.
Okay, so we're opening our books, turning to page 235.
Yep.
Looking at this, what we're going to work on today is we're going to be writing word problems to go with the division equation. Okay? So let's start out by looking at what one says that we need to do. We need to explain. It says Maddie draws this array. So before we even look at that, look at her array. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows.
Mm-hmm.
And how many are in each row?
4.
She thinks that she drew an array to show 8 divided by 4. Is that what she did?
No.
Because if she wrote 8 divided by 4, that means that her total amount that she would have in all would be 8. What did she do wrong? She thinks that she drew this array to show 8 divided by 4. What did she really show, though? Lucas, what did she show here? Do you agree with Lucas?
Yeah.
She showed multiplication. So she's showing us 8 times 4. Can we write that down? What did she do wrong?
She multiplied
She-
instead of divided.
She multiplied. What did she multiply?
8 times 4.
She multiplied 8 times 4. Get it written down. And friends, those of you that have been practicing your facts, you can either skip count by 8s, right? Or skip count by 4s. Do you know what 8 times 4 is? How many stars did she show here? 8 times 4. How many stars is that? Natalia? Add another 8 to it. You did 8 times 3. $32. So she showed how many stars in all? 32, because she multiplied 8 times 4. Let's jump down to 2. We have to write a story problem, a word problem. But it's not hard, friends. We're going to use the division equation. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. Now, let's say that, let's make our division word problem about Ivan. Okay, let's use him. So we're going to say Ivan, now we're dividing. So we need to start out with how many we have in all first. Ivan has crayons? Should we, do you want to do banana peels or crayons? Crayons? Okay, we'll do crayons. So Ivan has how many total crayons?
16.
Ivan has 16 crayons. do we need to do? If he has 16 and we're dividing, does that mean we're kind of splitting them up? Okay, Ivan has 16 crayons. What could we say next then to finish our word problem here, our story problem? Jenny.
I forgot mine.
Okay. Can you help her out, Haley?
We could say that he has 8 blue ones and 8 red ones.
But we're starting out with 16. How are we breaking it apart? It gets a little tricky. This is our first one we've done, right? So we're kind of brainstorming how this is going to work. Amy, what are you thinking?
He puts the crowns into 2 groups.
Oh, okay. He puts the, am I right and big enough for everybody to see okay?
Yeah.
He puts the crayons into 2 groups. Now, do story problems always have a question that we have to answer or something that we have to solve for? So what could the last part of our story problem be? Let's turn it into a question. How many, what are we talking about?
Crayon.
How many crayons you doing okay, Haley?
Yeah.
Okay. How many crayons, what would we ask? How many crayons? We have 2 groups. Reese, what are you thinking?
How many crayons does Ivan have?
How many crayons are in
A
each group? Right. How many crayons are in each group? We just created our first word problem for division. We're so smart. Everybody have this? All right. I need to slide this up, so can I delete what's on the board? Everybody's ready to move on? Okay. So part 3 has to do with the pairs that we see here. David and Mitch each buy a box of pears at the grocery store. Look at how each box divides the pears into equal groups. How many equal groups are there here? 3. How many equal groups are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one has 3 equal groups. That one has 7 equal groups. What's the same though about the two boxes of pears? Reese, what's the same?
They have the same amount of pears.
They have the same what?
Amount of pears.
They have the same amount of pears in all? Okay. What do you notice that's the same, Haley?
That even though the first group shows 3 equal groups, there's 7 in each group, and then the other one is just 7 equal groups with 3 in each group.
Okay, so when we were talking about multiplication, remember how we could change the order of those? Is that what they did here?
Yep.
They did 3 by 7. Here they did 7 by 3. Okay, so if you know your 3s or your 7s, could you figure out what 3 times 7 is? Or 7 times 3? So how many pairs are there in all? Everybody?
21.
There's 21 pairs in all. So is that something that is the same about the boxes?
Yes.
Okay, let's write some things down then. Okay, both what's that? Okay. Both have how many pairs?
21.
Okay, we said whether you look at 7 and 3 or 3 and 7, it's the same number, isn't it? So what's different about the way that the boxes are divided here? We talked about what's the same, but what's different? We already kind of talked about it. What's different? Amy?
That they're divided in different places.
Yeah. One box of pears has it dividing it like 21 divided by 3 equals 7. But this one shows us 21 divided by 7 equals 3. So the one box divides it into 3 groups, and the other box divides it into 7 groups. Let's just jot that quick. One box is divided into how many groups? This first one? 3 groups. And the other box is divided into what?
7.
Yes.
You put one box is divided.
Oh, I forgot the word into, didn't I? Thank you. My brain works faster than my hand does. Are the groups equal? Do they have the same amount in them? 7, 7, 7. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3. I think I forgot one of the 3s. So the groups have to be equal, don't they? Once you have that written down, go ahead and turn your page, then I'll know who's ready to continue on. Because we're going to do some more word problem creating, story problem creating.
You want to say
No, I don't. All right, everybody about finished? Perfect. Moving on to that next page.
We just were talking about crayons.
We were. Who would have thought they'd be on this page? It says Corey has 20 crayons. He wants to give the same number of crayons to each of his friends. Now, first thing that we're doing is we're going to write a problem about Corey and his crayons and how he wants to split them up evenly, equally among his friends. How could we start that out? Could we start it out with what they have? Corey has 20 crayons. Because do we need to know how many he has in all before we can start splitting anything up? Okay, so let's go ahead and write their information for our first part of our problem. Corey, we're just copying this down. Corey has 20 crayons.
Oh, I thought we were copying over here.
Actually, hold on. You know what? Go ahead and leave that. I see what they're wanting us to do. We are going to, oh, why did I do that? Sorry, friends. Let's write this. Let's turn this into a division equation. All right, so how many are we starting out with?
20.
You can leave what you had written. So we're going to say 20 divided by, we have to find this information, don't we? Do you know what two numbers multiplied together equals 20? Now, is there more than one right answer?
Yes.
Yes, there is. Hands on your hips, if you can think of two factors that you would multiply together to equal 20. Now, it's saying he has more than one friend, right? So you're not going to say 20 divided by 1 equals 20, are you? No, because that would mean he only has one friend. He has more than one friend. There it says friends. Okay. Fill in your numbers to complete this division problem. 20 divided by this number equals that number. Okay. All right. Okay. 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 All right. What's your division problem going to be? What two numbers multiplied together equal 20? All right, everyone has their multiplication numbers that help you with this division problem now. So you have 20 divided by your first number that you used equals that second number. Now remember, we can work backwards and say this times this should equal that. Remember talking about that yesterday? And the day before, maybe? I don't remember. Okay, look down at part B. It says find the solution to your problem using pictures or an array. We already wrote the division equation up here, so don't worry about that. So go ahead and you're creating a picture to show how you would divide this out. So could you do equal groups? Yes. Like they said, you could also do an array. So draw your picture to show how you're dividing that for part B. So what you were saying, some of you said, I'm just putting in different numbers. You could have put 5 here, or 4 here, or 2 here, or 10 here, right? So across from 5, you would have had 4. Across from 4 would be 5, 10, or 2. Depends on how you wrote it. But you're saying you have 20 total. He's giving the same number of crayons to each of his friends. All right, so if you have 20 divided by, let's say, 5. There's 5 crayons there, 5 crayons there, 5 there. How many is that so far? 5, 10, 15. I'm not quite there yet, am I? How many is that now? 20. So 20 divided by 5 equals 4. So his 4 friends are each getting 5 crayons. All right. How'd you do on yours? It looked like everybody had it figured out. Now, let's look at 5. Find 45 divided by 9 by describing 2 ways you can model it using equal groups. Now, we're not doing arrays, equal groups. Then tell how 9 means something different. You know, when you flip-flop that number, so 9 times what? That's what you have to think about. Equals that 45. This is when it's really helpful to know your multiplication facts. If you're not sure, could you start out by doing 9 groups? Yeah. Or could you put 9 in each group until you get up to 45? Okay, so show 2 different ways. First thing, show 2 different ways to make equal groups with the information here. 2 different ways using equal groups. So are you drawing 2 different pictures? Yes, you are. Do you have the two pictures created to show the equal groups? Two different ways. Okay, how's everybody doing? So one way that you have your groups is, did anybody do 9 in each group first? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's one group, right? My second group needs to also have how many?
9.
There's 9. How many is that? 9, 18. Oh, whoops.
38.
No.
30.
9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 4,
36.
36.
45.
45. So this is saying 45 divided by 9 equals, 45 divided by 9 equals, how many groups do I have? 5. So this was one way to do it. What's the other way to make equal groups using this information now? How many should I put in each group this time? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is that now? That's only 10, right? This would be 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and 45. So this time I said 45 divided by 5 equals how many groups? 9. Those were the two ways that you would have made those equal groups. Now, The 9 means something different in each of these. What does the 9 mean here in this problem?
How many in each group?
The 9 means there's 9 in each group. Okay, what does the 9 mean in this problem? There are 9 equal groups. So when you change the order of those numbers, does it change how this would look if you had to draw it out? Yeah. All right. That's the end of lesson 10. So go ahead and put your workbook back in your crate. Get out your whiteboard, your dry erase marker, and your eraser. And now, what I want you to do, remember how we've been practicing our skip counting, those multiples for when we multiply? Okay, so skip counting by 2s, that's easy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Those would be through 12. I want you in your mind to think back to 3s again. And then after you do 3s, switch gears to your 4s again. So go ahead and do your 3s and your 4s through 12. So skip counting them by 12 times, excuse me.
In 2 minutes.
In how much time do you think you need?
2.
Should- I'll do 3 minutes. Okay? 3 minutes to get your 3s and 4s, those multiples. Ready? Go. See who can beat the clock, beat the timer. You better double check. we got done just in the nick of time. Okay, no, let's skip count through those together. Are you ready? Let's do threes first. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. Let's go down to fours. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Good job. Who can tell me then what 3 times 8 would be? Everybody.
24.
Everybody. What is 4 times 8?
32.
What is 4 times 4?
16.
Okay, so what I want you to do is we're gonna, let's see, we have 8. Okay, I'm gonna put you into 2 different groups. And we're gonna practice our multiplication of 3s and 4s. Once you're in your group, you can decide if you're gonna turn it into a game or if you're just gonna practice all of those facts. 3 times 1 equals 3 times 2 equals. I'll let you guys decide, but we're gonna just focus on 3s and 4s. Okay, we're gonna get those mastered. Then we'll move on to 6s again. Like, didn't we do 6s yesterday?
Yeah.
And 7s?
Yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna get our 3s and 4s mastered, and then we'll do the same thing like this with our 6s and 7s tomorrow. All right, so if you wanna take a